Death Stranding is in an oddly unique place regarding video game preservation, as it's an online game that can be played entirely offline, but one day those servers will go down, as the cost of running them will be too great compared to the few players still active in the first game's world. There might be a way to link Death Stranding 1 to its sequel and all sequels that follow it, but even then, one day Kojima will stop making Death Stranding games. The franchise will die and the online mode will be shut down. When the network is shut down when this extinction event occurs, every structure and facility the community constructed will be wasted, and Death Stranding will cease to be a Strand-type game and genuinely become a walking simulator. I don't mean that as a derogative, it's an incredibly complex simulator where you have to account for several realistic aspects like weight, distance, and terrain, so the game will still have value, but eventually it's going to lose its most unique aspect. So I thought I'd try an offline playthrough of Death Stranding 1 with absolutely no online features to get a taste of how, statistically speaking, and assuming society doesn't collapse, the majority of people in the future will play Death Stranding 1, and how future historians will regard the game. While I can't predict the tastes and popular trends that will be in place decades from now, if I could I'd be the wealthiest man alive, I can't imagine many people will enjoy Death Stranding in its post-online era. The entire message of the game falls apart without the world around you helping you to guide you on your journey. Without the core theme of you just being one knot in a strand that connects the world, you are simply a lone survivor battling against a cruel and uncaring world. What you do restore is left almost as barren as when you first set foot upon it, and that satisfaction of conquering an area is lost. Connecting the world seems like a fruitless endeavor, devoid of meaning or purpose without anyone left to live in it. Now, full disclosure, I didn't finish my offline playthrough because it gets super annoying really fast. I had become complacent about the other players helping me across the continent, so in previous playthroughs I had always packed light in the assumption that my fellow porters would save me. That is immediately thrown out the window when you reach the first distribution center on the second map. There's no bridge over the ravine, causing me to abandon my trike and balance across a ladder to the other side. Of course I was spotted by the mules and couldn't outrun them, which caused my cargo to be stolen as I fruitlessly tried to reclaim it, before restarting the order and taking the long way around. Believe me when I say you don't want to play this game offline. I initially thought that maybe it would just become a more serene game without neon signs cluttering up the wilderness, but it just becomes frustrating without pick-me-ups to rely on, and what were once forgivable annoyances become teeth-grinding gripes. Please make no mistake, Death Stranding is designed to be annoying at a core level, from holding the triggers to the fast travel system to the mama delivery, but it's okay for the game to beat you down because the players pick you back up again. Though maybe the game helps a little, as I played Death Stranding at midnight on opening night in the earliest time zone in the world, that being New Zealand, and when I had gotten to the dispatch center in what was still my first play session, that bridge across the ravine was ready and waiting for my trike. But going back to future players, I can't imagine many people enjoying Death Stranding 1 without these structures. I remember stepping out of Lake Knot City and being blown away at the highway standing before me, knowing that so many other people had helped to build it. I remember soaring through the mountains on a zipline network that made the once barren area a cinch to traverse. No player could reach these goals alone, nor would they even be worth trying to do, as Death Stranding only works because of connection. And while Sam will still connect with other characters in the game, there won't be any gameplay to reflect that, something Kojima is a master of, using gameplay to reflect the themes of his stories. Death Stranding is left as a garbled mess of a story without that signature touch, with excruciatingly slow-paced gameplay that never rewards you by alleviating some of the burdens. Death Stranding is a game that will most definitely be shut down one day, but it will still be playable forever. With the artistic pride Kojima takes in his work, I wonder if he'd want the game itself to be removed from purchase, as it would no longer be his vision, though the game would probably only be shut down over his decaying corpse, which to me means as long as Kojima still has the authority to demand it, those servers are staying up. But time is a cruel thing, and one day people will study the career of Hideo Kojima, and when they have to write their essays on the Death Stranding era of his life, I fear that they might never be able to understand the game as well as we do today. Then those same people might conclude that Kojima lost his edge when he left Konami, and then Kojima's Ghost and I will do to them what the Sorrow did to Big Boss, and they will deserve it. Ultimately, I'm just worried that time won't be kind to Death Stranding, which is such a perfect time capsule of a game that really emulated the era it was put into, if not with the help of some extremely ominous foreshadowing. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about why the journey of Death Stranding is the game's real story.